One thing that I have learned in this past year is that learning to deal with rejection and learning how to deal with it well really improves so many aspects of your life, and you're not rattled as much when the outcome doesn't turn out the way that you hoped it would, when you don't get something that you want, when you've been hoping and possibly praying for something and it just does not go the way you want. And I was thinking about rejection in several areas of my life. The first, I think, being the most obvious, which is like personally in social situations. I think a lot of the ways that we usually think about rejection is in like a romantic sense, and there's part of that as well. But honestly, the friendship rejections can hurt just as much, sometimes more than the romantic rejections. And being here in a new place, new even though I'm going on 2 years here, but it's new to me, okay? I spent my first 27 years of my life in another place. So this is still new to me. Um when you're in a new place and you're trying to build your community, you're trying to find your people, and you find someone that you're like, "Oh, wait, hold on. We have similar we have similar hobbies," or "Oh, we're both from the same place. We're both transplants from another state, maybe the same state. Maybe we have a similar familial background, like whatever." Like, okay, this person's kind of cool. And for whatever reason, they decide that it's not a great fit for them, or they have too much going on in their life, or whatever it is, just a rejection happens. That can really, really hurt when you are trying to like build something from the ground up, and specifically in the instance where you've moved to a new place. But it's also happened where I grew up in California when I was trying to make new friends. Sometimes people just aren't into it, and learning to be okay with that and not here's a big thing that I am I've gotten better at, but I'm still learning. Other people's actions don't necessarily have anything to do with you. And I know there are fewer y'all that are like, well, yeah, no joke, Sherlock, you figure that out on your own. I'm figuring it out now. Um, yeah, it can still really suck, but detaching yourself from that, oh man, this person doesn't want to be my friend, and switching it to, this person has other priorities, or this person isn't necessarily interested in what I have to offer in terms of friendship, but that doesn't necessarily mean what I'm offering is bad. It just means that they're not interested. Just like, you're you're at a farmer's market, and doesn't mean anything is wrong with this farmer's tomatoes. You just don't have anything to cook with tomatoes this week, so you don't need to get tomatoes. Imagine if that farmer at that farmer's market got upset with every potential customer that passed by them. It would be a hard day. It would be a hard day. Nothing's wrong with your tomatoes. I'm just looking for a pumpkin this week. And I'm learning to kind of do the same thing when it comes to people's rejections of me in terms of friendship, in terms of, romantic relationships as well. But what's more relevant to me right now is those friendships, and being more secure in what I'm offering, what I want to give to a friendship, and knowing that there's nothing wrong with what I'm bringing to the table necessarily. The other person just doesn't want it. And also balancing that with being open to the fact that there might be ways that I need to grow. There might be ways that I need to improve myself. But again, that doesn't diminish what I'm bringing to it now, what I'm offering someone else who wants to be in friendship with me, in companionship with me, etc., etc. And then the other part of my life that I was thinking about this is career. I think when specifically when you're looking for a job, but even when you are in your job and you're asking for a promotion, you're asking for more pay, you're asking for more responsibility, you're asking for whatever the next thing for you is, and you don't get it, again, balancing between, okay, maybe there's ways that I need to improve, but also having a level of confidence in what you're doing now, what your capabilities are, that if you do apply to a new job and they're like, we chose somebody with more experience, there's still a job out there that would be ecstatic to have your experience. There's still a hiring manager that would love to have you on their team, that would enjoy a an initial interview with you, and you just haven't found that company yet. But I see so many posts, and I want to say that like their feelings are valid, but I see so many posts on social media, but LinkedIn specifically, because again, I'm not on all the socials, where people are like, I've applied to 200 jobs and I keep getting to the last round, and they're like, we chose somebody with more experience. We chose somebody with more specific experience. We chose somebody else because of XYZ, and that person hasn't been me, and I'm doing everything right. I'm putting in all the work and it's just not working. And this also kind of goes back to my video about separating yourself from the outcome. I think the title of that video might be like, the outcome isn't the end, it just is. Um yeah, like it can be so difficult not to internalize all of those rejections and be like, man, do I know how to do my job? Do I do I know how to be in marketing? Do I know how to sell a product? Do I know how to manage a team, when it feels like nobody else is like seeing what you're bringing to the table fully? And especially in the case of a job, you might have a lot riding on it as well. So, your ability to separate yourself from the rejection, from, the reason behind the rejection, might be extremely difficult because you have a family to feed, because you only have one more month of savings, because, your fridge is empty and you're trying to figure out how to make it for the next day or week or however long. And that's extremely difficult too. And especially right now in this job market, there are so many people who are in that space of, I know that I was doing good work when I had a job, or I know that I'm doing good work now, and I can't get what I'm asking for in terms of a raise to improve my quality of life, to match the level of work and expertise that I'm bringing to this role, to this company, to this team. Or, you know these hiring teams aren't seeing the value that I brought to these other companies, these other teams, to the amount of money that I brought to my previous workplace. And that's extremely difficult too, but I think it helps you to not give up when you try to not internalize the rejection as like a you problem. I also see a lot of people on, you know, career sites, again, specifically LinkedIn, where they're like, okay, I just needed to learn how to market myself so that my value was effectively communicated when I talk to a new company or to my boss or whoever. Sometimes it's not you, it's a need to learn how to communicate what you're bringing and what you're offering, which again is not necessarily you problem. It's just needing to learn the skills so that other people are receiving the information that you would like them to give. And then lastly, this one's a very personal one because I'm sure the vast majority of people that are watching this video aren't on this journey necessarily, but as I'm doing this daily posting, there's an aspect of it where, especially on days where I feel like I put a lot of effort into a video, or a lot of thought, or there's a level of vulnerability to it, when a video posts and like 24 hours later it has 3 views. And the thing with the thing with YouTube as well, if you aren't familiar with like posting videos on YouTube and like YouTube Studio, which shows your analytics for your channel in general, but also individual videos, um it will tell you how many impressions a video has gotten. So that means as people are scrolling through YouTube, whether it's on their phone, whether it's they're watching a video on their laptop, and there's like the suggested or recommended videos on the side, anytime your video pops up on the homepage or the side panel, or they're searching for another video and yours happens to pop up in the search as well, it shows you each of those people that scrolled past your video without clicking on it. So, for instance, I think I'm thinking like one of my most recent videos has like 1,500 impressions, let's say, and for the longest time it was stuck at 3 views. This is why I also can't be looking at my analytics too much at this point. But there is also a level of rejection, and obviously I know that on any social media platform, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, whether it's YouTube, whatever, there's always going to be a very small number of people that actually engage with the content, and the that percentage varies in terms of like what's a good conversion rate on each platform. But for a new YouTuber who's still trying to figure out how to do this, and if what I'm saying is valuable and worthy of somebody taking 10, 20, 30, I think I have a video on here that's like 45 minutes of their day to listen to me, to watch my video, and still getting that little bit of rejection when you see 1,500, 2,000, 5,000 people have seen the video and you've only gotten 3 views, especially. And again, this also goes into like partially marketing as well, because I don't do like thumbnails the vast majority of the time. YouTube will like take screenshots from like toward the beginning, toward the middle, and toward the end of the video, and then that's like the defaults that you can choose from if you don't go into a whole process of editing a thumbnail with like text and different pictures and all that stuff. So there's also an element of like, am I ugly? Granted, most of my thumbnails, I'm like in motion, so that also makes a difference. um but it is funny to me some days. I'm like, dang, I'm too ugly to click on the video, huh? And I'm like half joking with myself, but again, there's an element of that as well, like, oh man, maybe I didn't communicate what the video was like in my title, or the thumbnail is what it is, but did I not, maybe I need to reword the title. And if you pay attention to my videos, especially within like 24 to 48 hours after they're posted, it is not unusual for the title of a video to change multiple times, or for me to do like A/B tests to figure out like what exactly is going on. But as I do this, especially because I'm doing it every single day, I have to remind myself that the value of what I'm saying is not necessarily in how many people click on the video. It's after someone has clicked on the video and it like resonates with them. So there was one video I posted where I felt like I was stumbling over my words, and I had an idea of what I wanted to, the general gist of what I wanted to say and the ideas that I wanted to convey. But the vast majority of my videos don't use notes, so I was just kind of, going off the top of my head and a general outline that I had in my head. And somebody posted like, "Wow, this was actually super useful for me. Thanks for posting this." And I'm like, little old me. Every time I post one of these videos and I get views, I'm like, y'all decided to click on this video? And that's, I have to focus on that positive aspect of it so that the rest of the impressions don't bother me. Because I think it's really easy to say, like, oh, I'm just posting for the heck of it, and this is an exercise in not being perfect and da 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 da. But like, there is an element of it of you putting yourself out there, and that can be rough. It can be rough, especially if this is something that's new for you. Granted, I do think I have a bit of history putting myself out there in various ways, but this is very different. There are quite literally hours of content of me on the internet now just yapping about my life and my experiences and my travels and my friends and my family. And also, like, the fact that there are some of you watching this video right now who have sat and looked at my face for hours, like, it's cool, but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of mind-blowing. But going back to the original point, being okay with a certain level of rejection in this process, and I think also, as I've been doing this, it's probably why rejection was on my mind today, because every single day I put one of these out, it's an opportunity for someone to find me, but it's also an opportunity for people to be like, oh, I don't want nothing to do with that, and keep scrolling, right? So I'm putting myself out there to be found and appreciated and subscribed to. All of those. I'm such a cornball, y'all. And subscribe to. But um yeah, it's just something that I have to remember. I have to put more emphasis on what I feel like I'm offering rather than whether or not people want to take it. And I think that's the gist of today's video, is, at least for me, and maybe this is useful for you as well, but for me, focusing more on what I am trying to give somebody, what I want to give someone, whether it's in this video, whether it's friendship, whether it's in a romantic relationship, whether it's in, a company, whether it's my boss, trying to focus more on what I'm giving rather than how many people are willing to take it. And that helps with the overall positivity when it comes to rejection. Because at the end of the day, it might not be me. I just might not be, my offering just might not be the most appealing to the very specific person who I'm offering it to. And here on YouTube, that's thousands of people. So not everyone is going to be my target audience. Not everyone is going to want to listen to me yap about how I moved from California to Maryland. Most people could not care less about who I am or what I'm talking about. And that's okay, because the value is just in me hitting record and then hitting post. So there you go. So that's the video for today, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. If you don't know, my name is Alexis. I post here on YouTube every single day. Check my track record. Today is day 42. My minimum goal is 100 days, and that means I'm 42% of the way there, which is crazy. I don't know how I have managed to do it this long. I'm grateful I have. I'm grateful that there's 48, 49 of y'all here now. Absolutely insane, but I appreciate you. And I know a few of y'all are confused as to why I'm sitting back in this chair. Because if you saw yesterday's video, also, if you're new here, usually when I say this is the end of the video, there's usually a few more minutes of me yapping. So, welcome to that segment. But I was supposed to go to Texas, and just the flights did not end up working out. There's a whole backstory to that. Flights did not end up working out, and yeah. So me and my family are gonna have to figure out another time to get together because it's not gonna happen this week, unfortunately. So yeah, planning to try to take another trip either to California or back to Texas to see my family, and that's how that'll go. Uh, yeah. There was something else I was supposed to mention that I completely forgot about. And maybe I'll remember in the next video. But anywho, thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want to hop on this train early before we get closer to the 100 days and further into the year toward my full 365-day goal. And if you're interested in talking all things travel and big life changes and becoming a better person, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.